Last week, I received a payment I wasn't expecting. It was a dividend payment. Basically, dividends are money that you receive as a shareholder when the company that you invest in makes a profit and therefore declares a dividend. If you give me just about 3 to 5 minutes of your time, I'm going to explain to you how I moved from investing for the first time at the beginning of this year to receiving a dividend payment sometime 2 weeks ago. If you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Esther Piri and I'm on my journey to financial literacy, which I'm sharing with this online community. Basically, my aim is to demystify the idea that investment is something that is reserved for the people who are very wealthy or very educated. If I can do it, you can do it too. Now, in this video, I'm going to tell you the basics of how I began. I'm going to do a quick recap because there are already other videos in this playlist on that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to also add some further information of what I've learned so far. So, first off, I started by buying shares on the Lusaka Securities Exchange mobile application, which is available both on Android and on iPhone. I entered my credentials on the application and thereafter I was able to buy the shares even using mobile money. So you can start from as low as even 15 kwacha, buying shares worth 15 kwacha. Then, the industries that I chose to invest in are energy, fast-moving consumer goods. I invested in the banking sector and I also invested in agriculture. Please remember that this is not financial advice. I'm simply sharing what I did and what worked for me. The next thing that I did was that I waited for the documentation to show that my transactions had gone through. So the first document that they sent me when my transaction went through was a due advice slip. This is basically acknowledging the transaction. Secondly, I received a trade status after the due advice slip. The trade status shows you that the shares have now been assigned to you in your portfolio. So a portfolio, basically, think of it as a basket. So Esther, in her portfolio, she has eggs, she has cabbages, she has chicken. She has invested in different things to diversify her portfolio. This was done in order for me to sort of hedge my risks. And also, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't know which companies were performing well, so I just wanted to try it out and see how this would work. The next thing I did was that I attended an annual general meeting. So this is where the company tells you how they performed, what they intend to do in the next financial year, and they also tell you whether or not they're going to pay a dividend and how much the dividend is going to be. Also, I know this is completely girly, but I was so excited that even though I was late for the annual general meeting, they took down my name and they called me later on to say, "Hello, investor, you can come and pick up your gift." I know it might seem small to some people, but for me, it was absolutely exciting because it was very healing for my inner child because I've always wanted to invest from an early age. And just to be acknowledged as an investor, like, we know you came late, but here's your gift package, come and collect it. It was completely amazing. So after that, what I began to do is that I just began to sort of observe the prices on the application. I noticed that there's not much mobility, like changes in terms of the prices on the other shares that I'd invested in, but there's one particular company in the energy sector which I invested in, and the share price moved from about 13 kwacha to 18 kwacha. So I may not have received a dividend from that one, but I definitely gained something from the increase in the prices. So in addition, the next thing that I also learned is that there's two types of stock. There are dividend paying stock and there's growth stock. So the stocks that you gain from by receiving a dividend, and for other stock you gain as an investor by the stock value increasing, and then later on, if you decide to sell, you can sell them for a higher price. Anyway, this is what I've learned so far in my investment journey, and if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below, and I'm going to be sharing everything that I'm learning with this online community. Also remember that I do not give financial advice. This is not financial advice. Please seek the services of a licensed investment advisor. What I'm simply doing in these videos is sharing my little exciting journey to learning about financial literacy, and then also healing my inner child to say, Esther, you wanted to invest as a child, and here you are doing it now. In the next video, I'm going to let you know what I spent the dividends on. See you on the other side.